Hey, so we're back with another episode of Behind the Tears podcast, and I have a very special guest. One of my childhood classmates' sister has decided to come on and just share her experiences with us about life after um, his murder and her perspective on gun violence. And I'm just so excited for her to, chat with us today. Could you say hi? Her name is Brittany, and her brother, his name was JarQuavious Gunn. And I went to middle school with him, and we had so many fun experiences. He was always someone who was just had such a comedic personality. Like I thought I was funny, Gunn was funny.
Yeah. He was a clown.
He was like I was a little corny funny, like he was funny.
Yeah.
So I remember those days,
Yeah.
and just I hope that this is just an environment for us to laugh. Maybe even I'm a crybaby. I may cry.
Me too. I told my husband, I was like, I just don't want to cry.
It's okay. I may cry, and
Yeah.
that's the beauty of like this podcast. Although it is talking about a very sensitive subject, it doesn't have any parameters around. There's no boundaries on what we can and can't do here. I just want to make all my guests comfortable because it's such a privilege for people to come on here and share with me their feelings on something so sensitive. A lot of people don't want to talk about this topic, so I definitely don't want to limit my guests in their expression. But I'm just so excited. I've always wanted to talk about the young men in Gaston County because I see so many of them being murdered, and it just blows my mind. We're all around the same age.
Yeah. It's,
It really is. And then to know that as they get a little bit older, those who are impacted by gun violence, they're now just their fathers, their brothers, sons. And to think about leaving a child behind, that just makes me that makes me sad.
yeah.
That makes me think forward about, hey, what's going to happen to the child and what could have been and what should have been. And sometimes all I can do is, I don't know. I don't know.
It's hard. It's definitely hard. But Quay, he didn't get that chance. He didn't even get that opportunity. He was only 19, so he didn't really
19.
live yet.
What year was he born?
Quay was born in 2000. Don't make me lie. I got too many siblings to remember that. I know
2000.
he was 19. Hold on, I could go get it.
But the reason why I asked is because I was trying to see how long ago that was. Because I was born in 2001, so I'm 24, and I'm just thinking about where I was at 19. I can't imagine that being the end of my life, and I'm just so saddened by it. Some people I knew and I grew up with, it's just like they were here one minute, they were gone the next, and
Yeah, he would have been 24 this year.
yeah. I want to transition into something more uplifting. Let's talk about. Tell me a bit about JarQuavious and who he was as a person before his life was ended.
Quay. Okay, for me, we're siblings on our father's side. My father has 5 kids, and he is the baby. On our side, on his mom's side, she has 4, and he's the second oldest. So he's a little brother and a big brother. And for me, I can't speak for the rest of the siblings, but for me, he was my favorite. He was my favorite, number one, because he was the baby. And number two, he was the only sibling I didn't get into it with. The rest of us, we would argue and bicker and throw our opinions. He didn't care about nothing. He just was laid back. He was the most laid back person. Like he nothing I never saw him angry. I never heard him raise his voice. Like I never saw no other side but goofy. He couldn't sit still. He couldn't be quiet. He was always making noise. He was always dancing. He always had a joke, and that's just what it was. He was my favorite, and he was the baby, and he knew he was my favorite, and he used that. So he would constantly text me. If he sent me the text message, yo, I know he wants some money. So I know I gotta start cash apping. And that was fine with me. And my other siblings, they knew it, and they would try the same thing, and it just wouldn't work.
It
It,
was
no, it wouldn't work. My baby sister, she tried right now. It don't work. It does not work. That was my favorite sibling. And my kids loved him so much. My kids adored him because he was the youngest. So they felt like he was grown, but he wasn't grown. That's how they felt. So they treated him like a kid. They'd jump on him, climb him, and he would just let the kids do whatever to him anyway. So, but
That sounds like him. The whole time you're talking, I can just hear in my head how he would say, like him real. What you doing?
mhm. Always, always. He always kept me laughing. Like I'm serious. I can't. There's never been a time that I was upset with him ever. And I don't get me wrong, he ain't perfect. He ain't perfect. So he got in trouble when he was young, but just like kid things. He had good grades in middle school. He had good grades when he became a freshman. I know he used to do the mime dancing and travel. With I know he danced for what's that name? John P. Key. Um,
He
so
did?
yeah, it's videos and pictures. Yeah, he does
What?
travel.
I didn't know that.
So
I love John P. Key. Never
yeah,
shall I forget what he
yes, yeah,
said.
yeah. I
Oh
shared the
my
video. I have to
goodness.
see the video, but yeah, he like he 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 could have did great things. He really could have. Now, like I say, he ain't perfect because I saw the change, like not the change in his personality, but just change in things. And I would ask him all the time, Quay, what you doing? What you involved in? Like, what you doing? And it's always, I ain't doing that, sis. I ain't doing that. Like, I don't believe that. But you could see the difference, and you could see the crowd started changing a little bit. But he would
Yeah.
never admit to me that he was doing anything wrong. So I can't say what he was doing. I can only say from my experience as his sister what I saw and what I witnessed.
Yeah. And to just know that he was dancing for John P. Key. Now, this podcast is not about the Lord, but I love the Lord and I love
Right.
gospel music. And oh my goodness, I'm so proud of him.
It's a lot. It's a lot because, like I said, he had a good. He's not dumb. He
Oh
wasn't
no,
dumb.
he never was.
He was
He was a
extremely
very
smart.
intelligent.
Right, extremely smart. But like when people get out in the streets, people just make it seem like, oh, they ain't have nothing going for themselves. He really he did, and he really could have been something. It's just he just went a different way, and I wish, I think about it all the time. I wish that things could have been different, and as his older sibling, I tried. Like I tried to talk. I tried to move him down here with me and everything, and he kept promising me he was coming, but it was just too late.
I definitely can relate to being an older sibling because I'm the oldest of it's six of us, so I'm the oldest, and you feel that responsibility to be a good role model, and you feel almost like they're your children, and you want the best for them, and you're gonna do the best that you can do, and it really is just so difficult. Like when you see them going in another direction, it's like, well, how can I pull you back?
Right.
And they won't tell you, but they don't want to let you down, so they won't give you the full truth. They won't
Correct.
reach out and get the help that they need. Because I see that a lot with my siblings now. Like they're younger than me. One is 20, one 17. They won't really tell you for real what they're doing. It's like she has a high standard for me, but it's like if you only knew I really really love you, just let me know. Like, do you really need the help? Like, I don't know what you think is gonna happen in your mind, but it's not. Just let me know. But to know that he was such a light, especially to the ones that knew him very closely, such a light, so funny, so talented, so smart.
It's
That's
sad.
yeah,
It's sad.
that's exactly why I created this platform. I want to continue it, beyond a few episodes, just because there's so many people who don't get a chance to open up and talk about this. On my very first episode, the young man, this was his first time talking about what happened to his friend. Very first time. Some people don't even process it; they just move on. And
Yeah. And really, you don't move on. You just
or
don't. Yeah, you try to bury it, but you can't move on.
yeah, you're right. He, I don't. He just didn't talk about it. I
Yeah,
think he tried to
it's hard.
suppress it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's real hard.
And that just makes me think about like in middle school, because I had more of a relationship with him in middle school than in high school. You know, when I was in the band and we would do band classes, and he would come in there and like, hey, like, what's up, Mr. Norm? What y'all got? What y'all? I'm gonna do it. I'm in the band one day.
Right.
Well, I always say that. It's like, are you really? Are you really?
Right. No. He always had high energy. He was always
Yeah,
high energy. Always. He was a party by himself. He didn't care
he
who.
was.
You ain't gotta dance with him. You ain't gotta sing with him. You ain't gotta do nothing. He'll do it.
He really was. And I think there was a teacher. I'm trying to figure out who his friends was in middle school. That was so. It wasn't all that long ago because I'm not all that much older. But it's just.
It was a
It just.
while.
I wish I could like recall it, like
Yeah.
But I have a few memories still, and now that we're getting a chance to just talk about him before what happened, I want to know how did the the fact that he was taken away from you all so soon, how did that impact your daily life, from thereafter?
It's like everything stopped. It's just like everything stopped. And it was really crazy because when I got the phone call, it's like in the movies. Like you get that call in the middle of the night, like you sleep, and it's so like it bothered me to this day because I talked to him that day. Like we talked a lot. I talked to him that day, and I remember I was at work, and at the time where I worked at, you couldn't have your phone on you. The phones had to be in the locker. And that day, he texted me. He was like, "Yo, sis, I need you." And I didn't have the phone, so I didn't know. To this day, I don't know what he wanted. I have no idea what he wanted, and I hold a little bit of guilt because I think in my mind, like, what if he wanted me to come get him, or whatever. Like, could I have done something differently that day that helped avoid that? So that bothers me a lot. But I got the call that night, and it's like from that night for like the next 3 months, it's just like the earth was moving and I was just standing still. Like everything was just rolling by. It just felt like my life had stopped. I don't think I watched TV for like 2 months. I quit my job. Like I couldn't function. I couldn't focus. Like I just literally just stopped. And I know, like, I can't speak for his mom, but I know with my dad, that's the first time I ever seen my dad cry. That was the first time I ever seen him cry in my entire life and break down like that. And that did something to me. Um, like, I know with my dad, it's like his life stopped complete. Like, he still ain't the same now. My dad will still be at the grave every other day. Like, I know that's where his body is, but he's not. But it's like for my dad, that's where he go. Like every other day. That's where he at. And it's just like the joy, just like I can't imagine losing a child. So I don't know what my dad feels. I just know what I feel as a sibling. So I know if it feel like this as a sibling, I couldn't imagine what it's like as, his parent. And I think my dad holds a little bit of guilt too, like because my brother also like the things he did that day just was weird, and it make us feel like he wanted us to do something, like he knew it was coming. So I know like for that day he went looking for my dad, and my dad was gone riding somewhere. So it's like my dad feel like was he coming to me wanting me to do something or help him? Like I don't know. It's just like everything just stopped. everything stopped. Life just stopped. And then it's like you feel guilty for moving on and living life when they can't.
And I know that has to be such a, because I have never experienced that type of that. I have not experienced that type of grief in terms of a sibling. So this is, the closest that I've ever been to it, and now it's just I don't even, my heart goes out to you all. The fact that you're still feeling, processing how to navigate life, even years after. And that's just the funny thing about, not even funny thing. That's the thing about grief. It's like it's a constant part of your life from there on out
It
for
is.
whoever.
Cause like one day you'll think you fine, like a couple weeks go by, a couple months go by, and you fine. And then it's like the smallest little thing. It could be a song, it could be a show, it could be a smell, anything that just trigger it. And now it's like you right back in that place. Like I know for me, I can't. It's certain shows I can't watch no more. Like First 48 used to be my favorite show. Me and my husband used to watch that show all day. Like we would binge it. I can't watch that show no more. I've not watched that show since he died because and it's not like I watch movies and I see people get shot in movies and stuff like action movies, but it's not that. It's watching the family grieve. I can't do that. I can't watch that.
This is what I mean when I say this. Such a sensitive topic that even as a host, you don't always know how to navigate it. Sometimes you don't know what to say. Sometimes you just a moment of silence is all that you have. And yeah, I know for my last guest, her friend, and I know that's gonna be an inside joke for the rest of the episode. Her friend, um, his case was not solved or is still cold. Is that the same for Gunn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's a lot of stories and a lot of rumors on who did what and it's a lot of different stuff, but no, the police haven't said anything.
So, was there anything about how the media or the community reacted to his death that impacted you either positively or negatively?
I say both for sure. Positively, I know I came. It was like a couple days after it happened. I came down there, and they had like this little rally at Sawdust Park, and the sheriff was out there, and they were offering condolences. A couple people got together, and everybody prayed, and that was real nice. Um, but other than that, nah, it was like when the news had released a video of the news released a video of the coroner wheeling his body out, and people took that video. My
No, you don't have to apologize. This is your time and your space.
But people like took the video and they made like little clips, like joking about it. It was, but we never found out like who exactly did these things. Like, but it was like all on social media, and they would make his body being on the little thing when they was wheeling it out, and he was in a body bag. They had that like as they profile pictures. Like we had, it was people making songs, um, talking about the murder, and It was a video. Somebody went out there and tore up his flowers at his grave. Somebody made a video um urinating on his grave. And I just like is I don't know. It was I don't even have no words for the feelings. And to know that like a human being could do those type of things, like he's gone. Whatever the issue was that made somebody want to murder him, he's gone. Like you got him. He gone. So for you to still go and tear up his grave and to pee on his grave and to make these songs, like you're not doing nothing to him. Like he's gone. But it is eating. It ate the family up. It's like I don't think you can get no more disrespectful than that.
I, that definitely is news to me. Like now, I'm just now processing all of that for the first time, and that just is something so shocking. So considering the impact that the way the community handled Gunn's death and the way some people, were really disrespectful towards his death, what are some conversations that you wish people were having about gun violence, especially among young people in communities like Gaston County?
I wish that parents were parenting more. I guess is what I'm trying to say because it seemed like it's going younger and younger, and it's like these young teenagers are able to get a gun from anywhere, and it's like the parents. I would say some parents don't know, but you don't know because you ain't trying to know. And then some parents do know, and they just not doing nothing about it. Like it seemed to be a more like a thing like it's cool that that's what you're doing. It's okay to be out in the streets. It's okay to pull a gun. It's okay to sell drugs, and it's not like it don't come. There's no reward from it. You don't get no reward. That's not something that you support your kids in. That's not something that you support your sibling or your friend in because there's no reward from it. You support in good things. And I just feel like a lot of people just lack that. Like there's no consequences to it, and there is. It's major consequences, and it's not always jail or prison where you can still be alive. That's not always the thing. Sometimes it's gonna come a day where that's ain't somebody else gonna come back and they gonna have a gun, and that's it. Like you don't get a second chance.
And I'm sitting and I'm listening to, what you're saying and how that lifestyle really doesn't have any reward. But I'm just thinking a lot of people do think it does though.
Mhm.
It, based on the media, their favorite rappers,
Right,
the fact that they don't see any other avenue to survive other than, making money outside of legal avenues. They see that as, okay, well, I need money now.
right.
Like my siblings need food now, my mom needs money now, our lights off, this, that, and the third. So some people don't see any other way out of it. And it just is really sad because when you're in that such a tight spot like that, you're not looking to the future. You're only thinking about right now. And, for
But for that, to me, it's just like a lot of people are lazy. Like you lazy people think that they deserve something for nothing. And that's not the case. You like that's not the case. You got to raise your kids to know that they gonna have to work. Like nothing is free. Nothing gonna come to you and nothing gonna come easy. You gotta work. And that's for the parents too. Like parents, y'all gotta work. Like if they see you being that way, they gonna think they can be that way. And that's not the case. It's not like it's not, and it's sad that this is how people raising their kids because it's literally kids out here who think that like not kids, but it's literally parents out here who literally trying to raise their kids up to be a thug. trying to raise their kids up to be in a gang. Like, that's not okay. I don't know where people get that that's okay. Like, are you saying that you raising your child up to be in this gang, and then when they get in this gang, that you okay with them being shot one day? If that's the case, like, is that okay? But that's just my
That,
opinion.
but no, no, it's definitely a valid and sobering perspective because it's not okay. I- the mom I had, she did almost anything she could to raise us in a legal way. And, imagine seeing your mom, in some cases, having to walk to work, walking till she catches a ride. We live in Gretna, Florida at the time, and she works Tallahassee. You know, that type of like grit, that type of determination to raise her kids, and always saying, "I want you to be better than me. Oh, I want you to be better than me." And not to see her kids, doing well, it definitely takes a lot of hard work, you know. And the perspective you gave is definitely, eye opening because, in a sense, that is kind of an easy way out. It is. Yes, the legal money's gonna come slower. Yes, you would have to work more. You would have to show that you have integrity for to be promoted. It's not all about just street cred or respect or like how tough you are. They want to see, can you do the job? Do you have skills? Yes, the government gonna take taxes out your money. Yes, you gotta pay this. You gotta pay that. Like, it's a lot of responsibility that comes with getting things the legal way that I think some people want to avoid, and it's understanding that everybody is not going to be that rapper or that superstar. You can still have a fulfilled life, being a living a normal lifestyle.
Right.
It doesn't have to be grand. And I think that's a difficult thing for some people to accept. It's like, well, why can't I if they can? You most definitely can, but just know that what came behind the success you see is probably way more work than you want to do.
And the thing about it is, okay, if you do get all the money, you get all the cars, you get all the gold, all that does, if you get all of that, when you leave this earth, whether God take you or somebody else take you, don't none of it go with you. None of it. And at the end of the day, I'm the type, I want to be able to sleep at night. I don't want to have to worry when I'm at home in my bed. I don't want to have to worry about somebody coming beating my door down. I don't want to have to look over my shoulder or nothing like that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's sad because I think some people, they're not worried about what's going to happen when they leave here. They're like, I
Right.
just want to enjoy while I'm here because like I done did so much stuff. I don't care where I'm going.
Right.
And that type of person doesn't have anything to lose. And I feel like that's where you get into people who are willing to take the lives of others.
That's crazy because like me and Quay, we would talk. Like I would talk to Quay. Like the way me and you talking, we having like deep conversation. That's how me and Quay would talk. We would have deep conversation, and I would tell him all the time, like I'm scared for you, like I'm scared for you, and he would just laugh it off. And I'm like, I'd be talking to him, and I remember before Quay died, he went through a couple things. Um, and I would tell him, warning comes before destruction. Like that's a real thing. People don't believe that, but it's a real thing. And I don't know. I don't know if my dad gonna get mad about me saying this stuff. But like before he passed, okay, he got hit by a car. I want to say it was like May. As a matter of fact, it was my birthday. It was May the 8th. My brother got hit by a car. I'm thinking that, he calling me, say happy birthday and stuff, but he got hit by a car, and he was in the hospital. He was banged up pretty bad. Um, and I don't know when the last time you may have seen Quay, but Quay, he like 6'4", and he's probably like 125 pounds, if that. So he like real bony, like tall and bony. So I remember when he got hit by the car, I went up there the next day, and I stayed with him. When he got out of the hospital, me and my sister stayed with him, and I remember he kept talking about everybody was calling him hard body Quay, hard body Quay. because he didn't die. So then I was like, boy, I was like, that was by the grace of God that you didn't die, because you ain't but so big. But he just kept saying, everybody calling him a hard body Quay, and he took that like as a bragging right. So then I want to say it had to be like September or October. He got shot, and he survived, but we thought we didn't think he was gonna survive. And I remember when he was unresponsive for like 3 days. So I remember they just didn't know, if he was gonna make it. But when he did, I remember coming up there. He had short term memory loss at first, and I'd be talking to him, and like I stay on the phone with him, talking to him constantly, and he'll forget like instantly, like 30 seconds later. He'd be like, Brittany, why I'm in here? What's all this on me? And I'm like, boy, like we just kept going back and forth. But I remember the day he got out, I told him the day you get out, I'm gonna come up there and be with you. So he got out, and I went up there, um, and I stayed with him again. And I remember me and him riding in the car, and he was saying everybody was calling him hard body Quay, still saying you got hit by a car, you still live. You got shot, you still live. And I remember him telling me he wasn't scared to die no more. And I was like, what you mean? And he was like, well, if it's like that, he was like, I'm not scared to die no more. And I was like, why you say that? And he was like, cause he was like, I don't remember none of that stuff. He was like, I remember stuff before. And he was like, when he got shot and he was laying there, he was like, it hurt bad. It burned. But he was like, other than that, it just felt like he was asleep. He don't remember none of it. So he was like, if it's like that, he good. Right then, I knew we had a problem. Because when a person tell you they not afraid to die no more, it's just like they just giving up. Like whatever is whatever. And then had to be, well, I want to say that was like the end of September, beginning of October, something like that. I think it was around September though. But then he was murdered November 15th. And that's why I say warning comes before destruction. That's a real thing. Like that's a real thing. And I will say, before, to me, from my point of view, before he died, he stopped hanging out. He stopped, like he started staying in the house. I can't say why he was doing it, but he started staying in the house more. Like matter of fact, the night that he died, he was home. He was in the house. He was in the house playing video games. And I think like that's also kind of like how all of us feel in the family. Like we would always tell him like, stay home. Like you ain't got to go. You ain't got to be on every scene. But for me, I felt bad now that I kept drilling that to him, because before you wouldn't know where he was. He was always ripping and running. He was always moving. And now that he did stay home, now he's sitting still. You know where he at. And how you get murdered sitting in the house playing video games. Like I think that bothered all of us, that we told him to stop riding around.
This this episode is really. I, forgive me if I'm not the best host, but a lot of times I just don't have anything to say.
You good.
Because I didn't know that either. I kid you not. All I knew is that he was gone.
Yes.
I knew nothing about. I didn't first. I didn't know he was 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
I just remember him in middle school. I didn't know that he had the accident, was shot before.
He went through a couple things before he passed.
In the fact that he was home, almost like you trying to get your life together, and it's like whatever you were involved in won't let you go.
Right. And that's how I felt. I felt like that's what he was trying. That's on me though. That's just my perspective. Because like I said, he was sitting in the house, like he was staying home a lot, like a lot. He was missing out on a lot, and that just went like him. But we all was drilling, like, you know, after. I mean, you got hit by the car, and with the whole car thing, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was like at a race, like they was racing. He was standing on the side, but he the one got hit with the car. So I'm not saying that was like an intentional thing, but it's still like a wake up call though. And then when he got shot, that was for him. And that was, to me, should have been a wake up call. But it was like the fact that when we were riding, he was like, he not scared to die no more. That just like that shook me a little bit. And I remember telling my daddy about that. I remember telling my daddy, and if I'm not mistaken, when me and my daddy was talking about it, um, he said, he told me, he was like, he already put it in his mind that he gonna have to get ready to bury Quay. And I was like, Dad, don't say, like, you know, don't say nothing like that. But it's like everybody could like see it coming or something. And that's why, like, the day that he left, it was strange. Like the things he was doing was so strange. It's like he knew it was coming. Because from what my dad was telling me, and my brother grandma, he lived with his grandma at the time on his mom's side, and she was saying how he was cleaning the house and he was checking the mail, he was cleaning the fridge out, and that's just not stuff he did. It's nothing he ever did. So the whole thing, it was just weird. Everything that day was just weird.
I feel, I'm just mentally just thinking about it, just processing all of it. Um, and I can't see him cleaning up the fridge either.
Nah, that wasn't for him.
I can't see him checking the mail.
No, that's not the type of stuff he did. That's what I'm saying. Like everything was so weird that day. Everything was weird. And I remember when my dad was like, he came to the house, my uncle was sitting outside and he was like, where my daddy at? And my uncle said, your daddy ain't in there, your daddy gone. But my daddy truck was out there. So he was like, man, stop playing. Where my daddy at? And so he went in the house. He was like, boy, I told you your daddy ain't in there. And he wasn't. He was gone riding. I think he was with like my auntie or something, but they was gone in her vehicle. So it's just like we all got like something where it's like he was, I don't know, it just feel like he was trying to like say something, or I don't know. Like I like to this day, I've never deleted our text messages. I still have all me and his messages, and I got that last message, and it say, "Sis, I need you." That's all I got, and I don't know what it means or nothing like that. But it just that day was just weird.
So, if there were like any conversations or things that you would want people who never experience, someone being taken away from them due to gun violence, or they don't really have a clear view of gun violence, what would you want them to know? What conversations would you want them to have?
Um, if you the one holding the gun, it's consequences. It's definitely consequences. If you the one that is intended to, it's consequences. And it's impact. It's impact. It is a big impact on your family. It is the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with in my entire life. And it don't matter how many years later, it hurt. It hurts just like it did before. And the fact that I'll never see him again. like ever. Like I don't think you realize like you everybody know one day you gonna die. But I don't think people realize how long forever is until that person is gone. Like it's never gonna happen again. I'm never gonna touch him again. I'm never gonna talk to him again. I'm never gonna see his face again. You never gonna hear his voice. And forever is forever. You never get that chance. You don't get no. And then because his case is cold, you don't get the answers. You don't know why. And like I said, to me, I don't know, if he was doing bad things, wrong things, I don't know those things. So to me, somebody just took my little brother. Like that's my baby brother. And I don't know, he was funny. He was funny, he was goofy, he was loving, and he was our baby brother. And for what? Like we don't have those answers. And I remember like before he passed, like, you be watching TV and movies and stuff like that, and you be like, man, somebody shoot my family. I want to shoot them too. Like, somebody do this, I'm gonna do this back. But after, it's not gonna change nothing. It's not gonna make you feel better. I would rather sit there and listen in court and hear why you did those things, and I would rather that person have to wake up every day looking at a jail cell and know I'm in here because I did this. It don't make you feel better if you go back and shoot that person. It don't change nothing.
Yeah, forever is so final, so funny, like finite, like, but at the same time, it's not because it goes on and on and on. But when you look at it from the standpoint of someone being taken away from you, that is something that's like conquering. You won't ever see them again, and that's so hard to even think about. And that's why
And
you have to love it.
it's like if he was sick and he left him, that'd be different. You can prepare mentally a little bit. Even though even then I don't think people really prepare to ever lose a person. But if he was sick, it would just be different to me because nobody else did that to him. That was just the will of God. But for him to be so young, 19, he never, really had no job. He didn't get the chance to experience life. I don't even think my brother ever left Florida, honestly. He didn't get the chance to have a kid if he wanted one. Like he just didn't get the chance. He didn't get no chance to do anything. And I think it would have been different if it was, just natural causes or sick or, a wreck or something, something else other than murder.
Yeah,
Murder is just different, I would think. Like I don't,
it
lost
is.
grandparents, stuff like that, but murder is just different.
Yeah, because the way that you're describing his death to me is so different from the grieving experiences I have with my grandparents who died due to illness.
Right.
Like with the illness, I know why, so I'm able to
Right.
process it differently than you are because he was taken away from you. Like yes, I still have my moments, but it doesn't. That gives me a little bit of closure. The
Right.
illness gives me, as weird as it sounds, the illness gives me a little bit of closure. Do you think there's anything that he would want the world to know about him?
Um, I I don't know what he might want, but I just want people to know like he wasn't he number one, he didn't deserve what he got. That's number one. He didn't deserve that. Number two, he wasn't no bad person. He was not a bad person. He I can't say that enough. He wasn't no bad person. like I say, I can't say the wrong things that he did because I can't see what I don't see. I can't hear what I never heard. So he just like he was young. He was funny. He was a good friend. He was a good brother. He was a good uncle. He was a good son. Like he just didn't get the chance that he should have had. He just didn't get the chance. And I really feel like, and that's why I always told him I felt like he should leave there because it's so many other opportunities. It's so many like some people adapt to their environment. And I feel like that's what he did. I felt like he did what other people was doing. Um and that's just what it was. That's why I begged him to like, just move with me for a little bit just to see what it's like other places. And I honestly, honest to God, feel like he would be here today if he did. I really do.
Yeah, I can definitely feel like he would have gotten, not that he wasn't loved, but gotten a lot of nurturing, um, and care, and just a safe space to figure it out. Because we're so young,
Right.
especially during that age, you're just figuring it out. And it's like,
That's the thing. Like I felt like he always felt like he had time, which you supposed to feel like that. As a teenager, you supposed to feel like you got time. You supposed to have some time. And I just felt like he wanted to like just live out his little young years and just do what he wanted to do. But that's not always the case.
yeah, it really isn't always the case. And I hate that that's not always the case for so many people in Gaston County. Like so
Yeah.
many, and it's a lot of the victims are men. There's a few women who get caught in the crossfire, but a lot of them are young men. Yeah, yeah. But I I hate to leave us on such a somber note, but sometimes that's where we're left at, and that's a part of holding space for other people, not making you feel like you have to wrap whatever emotions you're feeling up.
Right.
Sometimes there is no right thing to say, or there is no, okay, guys, this is it. No, sometimes it's going to end on that note. But I do want to say thank you to all the viewers for joining us and tuning in, and just tap in next time for another episode of the Behind the Tears podcast. And thank you once again to Brittany for taking the time out. I really do appreciate it. And your perspectives have been so eye opening, you know, giving us a new level of empathy on those who are impacted by gun violence and just grief, because grief for a lot of people, they don't know how to process it and they don't know what it looks like. But you're giving a very authentic example of what that looks like. So thank you.
You're welcome.